Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Stat Pearson. And today, we have transformed to combine into Black Edition of the Token Games Podcast. For those of you who don't know, besides being real-life minorities, me, a Mr. Zeno120, and of course, Michael Dad Hill, happen to all be minorities. But we're almost never exclusively in the podcast together. So yeah, Black Edition. I don't care how you feel about it, sue me. I didn't say there was anything wrong with a white edition. Alright, let's get into the topics. Sony recently bought Insomnia. Are they doing this to potentially have an internal team ready to create something for the PlayStation 5 when it first comes out? Because they don't have anything ready or that's going to be prepared quick enough? Or do you think they bought them exclusively to possibly mine them for good people and have somebody be an exclusive Spider-Man studio? It's really weird how they went about purchasing them. Basically, what do you think the primary reason for them buying Insomniac is going forward? Not just because, well, they made a good Spider-Man game. You know? For topic 2, Gamescon 2019 has just ended or ends today. For those who don't know or haven't heard about it, it's basically like E3, but over in Germany, and is the first or second largest video game consumer trade show literally in the world. But I am curious, which games or things that you saw there were you the most interested in and why? Third topic. Do you think this convention is the last time current generation's systems, such as, when it comes to Microsoft and Sony, will be showed or be present at a trade show? If so, what do you think they have left to show off? Or do you think that going forward, we are officially going to transition into the entire, we don't know what they're going to call it, but the traditional name is the next Xbox that comes out, courtesy of Microsoft and the PlayStation 5. Topic 3. Sony not licensing out Spider-Man to the MCU anymore. And after crying and vomiting fits, I'm just wondering, do you think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is officially over? Or do you think that since Sony technically owns Spider-Man in the form of film, that going forward we will see more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies? However, they will be completely created and made by Sony. Okay. Topic 4. What kind of games do you want to come out on the PlayStation 5 first from Insomniac? Do you want just another Spider-Man sequel, or do you want them to create something new, and what type of game do you want it to be? Doesn't matter if it's a sequel, doesn't matter if it's brand new. I'm just curious what's in that head. Topic 5. 2 new versions of the Switch have finally hit the market, even though they had minor internal upgrades. Rumors of a graphically superior model are still coming out. Do you feel like it's too soon for this graphically improved version to actually be released, or a pro version to be released? Or are you one of the people that feels like maybe, just maybe, it's just a BS rumor and it couldn't possibly be true because there's too many coming in back to back? And our final topic, well, besides a simple yes or no if you think Sony will recast Spider-Man Tom Holland, D23 happened / is happening. What are some things you want to see from D23? Or, I'm sorry, not want to see from D23. What are some of the new things you're looking forward to that came out of D23? Yeah, I don't know. Topic 6 making me stutter a lot. And for the love of God, nobody better say Peggy Carter. Don't get me wrong. The show was good. I liked it. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't think there's any more stories left to tell with Peggy Carter. Somebody else better show up, because Chris Evans ain't coming. All right. So who wants to go first?
Alright, I'll start. Alright.
Alright, Zeno, go ahead.
So as far as the first topic, and them buying Insomniac, I think they just realized there's money there. I mean, like, they've had Ratchet and Clank, and they like some Spider-Man game, so I think they're just trying to make a good business move.
I make money moves.
I'm sure when this next Spider-Man come out, people are going to buy it, like, just how they bought the, like, they even had, like, the special edition console that was, like, selling out and stuff like that. So I think it's just a long-term investment. I don't even know what the launch title list is. What, like The Last of Us 2?
Wait, are you asking what Insomniac's made?
No, I'm saying, like, what are some of the launch titles for PlayStation 5 or supposedly?
Nothing. Literally, there's nothing we know about that's coming. However, you can predict certain stereotypes like Street Fighter will be on the PlayStation 5. It just will be.
Oh, I mean, I don't really pay Gran Turismo 7, but they have that. I forgot about that.
Wasn't that supposed to come out on the PlayStation 4?
Final Fantasy Versus. Anyway, as far as the games Con 29 goes, sorry. Only game I'm looking forward to getting. Oh wait, no, I lied. It's 2. It's Animal Crossing. I want to see what they have to say about that. And I did see a rumor somewhere that they have Super Mario Sunshine, like a second one coming out for the Switch. So,
oh yeah,
I'm glad to see those.
Yeah, it was more pertaining to Sony and Microsoft next system, but basically the way that rumor works is it looks like Nintendo's implying that Super Mario Odyssey will have a Super Mario Sunshine DLC. However, because of the weird wording, it could also be assumed that they may just re-release Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not terrible. I mean, what else? Other than that, I don't know. It's not really any game I particularly want to see. The only game I really, like I say, waiting for. I want to see Last of Us 2. I want to see more of that. That's pretty much it. It's not much I'm really looking forward to. That can be good right now. Yeah. Alright, so, topic 3.
Let me get my tissue.
Will Sony and Microsoft show it? So I think if they do show up, because I don't know, I can give a definitive answer, but if they do, they'll probably just show games that they haven't coming out. So like launch titles, if they were to have them, they were just going to show launch titles and stuff like that. So they set up the next console generation, or maybe they might show more specs for the hardware. I mean, other than that, they still have the PlayStation 4. Since they're not going to stop making games for a while, I think they'll probably just show like minor things, nothing too major. Do I think Spot? Well,
hold on, Holland. Are you on voice activity?
Yeah. Am I what?
Are you on voice activity?
You talking about where you don't have to press the top?
Yes.
No.
Oh. Okay, because it's weird, because I hear myself on your mic. Not sure why, but you good.
So Sony not licensing Spider-Man. The only thing I know about it is what I read. They talked about they wanted a different deal from the initial deal, and Sony was like, "Well, nah." And Disney was like, "All right, cool. Then we're not gonna help you." And they were just like, "All right, cool." That's all I know. But I also read another article where like Stan Lee's daughter said that Disney and Marvel didn't treat Stan Lee that well. So I don't know. I feel like maybe Sony's sticking it to the man. And Disney realized they can get a lot more out of Spider-Man than they thought. So they're like trying to just get more. Be greedy. I mean, both companies, all the companies are kind of greedy, but Disney's just like, yeah. Anyway, it's Disney. What can I say? Oh, as far as games coming out on the PlayStation 5, like I say, Last of Us, but also, if they release another Ratchet & Clank game, that'd be cool, because I do like Ratchet & Clank. I can't think of anything else. I don't know why I had a brain fart. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Alright, yeah.
Was it Final Fantasy?
No. Because 15 wasn't that impressive to me.
I was referring to 7, and you're right about 15.
Wait, you said what?
I was referring to 7, but you're right about 15.
Oh, yeah, 7. Like, I actually really want to see a 9 remake. Because 9 is my favorite.
Okay.
Maybe Horizon 2. I want them to make a Horizon.
Oh my God! Yes, yes, I really want that. I'm mad I didn't think about that.
I want a Horizon, but I don't want those time trial things because those are just irritating to me in the first one. So, but everything else is fine.
Hey, no one said you had to get a platinum. No one said you had to get a platinum.
I like going for platinum. Why go for gold? We can go for platinum.
Because they literally do the exact same thing, but that's another story.
Yeah. But other than that, I can't really think of anything off the top of my tongue. Yeah. Ooh. No, they probably can't release another Skies of Arcadia. Anyway.
Damn it, stop taking all the good answers.
You weren't gonna think of that.
Yes, I was, bitch.
Okay, have you ever heard of a game called Growlancer?
Growlancer? Yeah, they turned it into a sale. Yes, I've heard of it. They turned it into a fucking mobile game.
I want a console version. Damn it.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. I never played it, but I respect it.
But yeah, as far as the new Switches go, I called this a while back. That's why I didn't immediately buy a Switch. But just for understanding's sake, like a Switch Pro, I want that version. There's no point in me buying a Switch and then they release another one that costs just as much, if not like $20 more, because they don't be triggered. I would like to hope that it's coming, but I don't think it's coming soon. It's probably sometime next year.
Okay. Yeah, and that was one of the things I'm glad you're here for, because I was gonna bring it up that you mentioned that and you called that shit a long, long time ago. Like before you even got on the podcast and we were just fucking around, you actually called that shit. I remember that. But if it makes you feel any better, and the easiest way for you to know which is which, Nintendo made all the new upgraded Switches. Their box is red, like all the way red, and the artwork is different.
Oh, yeah, no, I know the difference. I looked it up. Like as soon as they announced it, I was like, I fucking knew it. And then I looked it up, and like the art box, like on the box itself, not only is it red, it shows everything on the right instead of like the TV and the controller on the left. Everything's just on the right, and it has a certain model number too, like XR2 or something like that. But yeah, I'm waiting.
Smart man.
Okay, so them cast a new Spider-Man, right? So I think if they were to do another Spider-Man, that they most likely would not use Tom Holland, only because every time they would re-release Spider-Man, essentially, they would use a new actor. I think they would like just continue that. I feel like it's like an unspoken rule. Even though I did like Tom Holland Spider-Man, mostly because I think they really hit on the points of him actually being like a genius, and like when he's fighting, he's like got his quips and things of that nature. That's my favorite thing about Spider-Man is like he's like in the middle of a serious fight, and he's like, "Hey, over here! Oh, you missed me!" Like he's like talking stuff. So it's like it's a joke, but it's at the same time serious. So, yeah, but yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't personally think they're gonna use him, but who knows, right? And yeah, that's it.
D23.
Disney 23. I'm looking for more Kingdom Hearts news because that's the best game of 2018.
Nigga. Okay.
2019.
You know what? We would have that debate and it would go for a millennium. I would be right and you would be wrong, but no, that's not what D23 is inherently for. D23 is for their video entertainment. So you're not supposed to see video game shit there because it's all movie and television and serialization shit.
With that being said, I want to see Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, bother. Well, I'm sure we could get some more Winnie the Pooh, but right now he's trying to start a Cold War and blame it on us. That aside, all right, Hill, go ahead and bring up the back.
All right. Topic 1, them combining insomnia games. That is surely just for so more Spider-Man shit because they're really trying to bring home a new point of getting a new IP out. And what better way than to use the IP everybody already likes because they already have Ratchet playing the other Spider-Man game.
Hold on, Hill. That's not you moving around and shit, is it?
Roommate.
Oh, okay. I thought you was on voice activity. Continue.
Yeah, so they're just really going to use Insomnia for their own personal game of, haha, now we can chill the new Spider-Man games this way. Alright. Gamescon 2019. What they need for that, I have no idea because I've never heard of this, so I'm not sure what to look out for that because I just heard of this like now. What is in that anyway?
Everything. If memory serves, they even had Streets of Rage 4. And they showed off the 3rd playable character.
That'd be cool. Then maybe they could get stuff for that fucking Guilty Gear shit I've been seeing that they're trying to slowly make into. Because I'd love to see more of that. Because I've only seen like small clips of it where it's like a.
That's the only clip. That's the only clip. Yeah, the only thing we know is that there'll be a demo in November, but we don't know if it's going to be open to the public.
After 3, I really do think this may be the last time this Xbox and Sony this time around are going to promote their older consoles because like most of the time they do, as soon as the new console comes out, they just like drop that IP and go for the next one. So this will probably be the last year we get to see any promotion for their titles before they chill into the new ones. It's like, hey, I know you like these ones, but we have a new console out that you have to buy because after next month we're going to stop making games for the previous console, and then you will never be able to buy them ever again. Now, the games I want to see on the PS4 Sly Cooper 5 because they hinted at the end of Freeze Through Time, he was alive and in Egypt. Where would they go from there? I need to know. Technically, he sends a message forward through time, they will find it. Because, time fucking works like that. One person's behind 500 years, they sit in the same spot the next 300, and somebody's going to notice it. So they can't just leave Sly like that after all what I had to do to get through that game. Let's see what else. Another Infamous game. Because they always like to make a new Infamous game for every console. Or at the very least, make another Infamous game. It's fucking first PS3. The game that came out for free from most PS3 is Infamous. And they made Infamous 2. Then the PS4 came out. Infamous Second Son. So let's get another Infamous game. Those games are fun. You can also do whatever not whatever you want, but you can go down. To me, that game did the best affinity chart actions because it.
What's an affinity chart?
Too much. What?
What's an affinity chart?
Basically, the whole good and evil side. You decide.
Okay.
Kill the kid or let the kid live. That's what I mean by affinity. Are you a good person or are you a bad person? Well, not bad. Are you going to do the morally right or the morally wrong thing? And depending on how you shape the characters, depending on what abilities you get. Most of the time, games like Fable or SWTOR just make it like, if you're a bad person, they already like you, nobody's going to help you out do anything, and blah, blah, blah. Well, Infamous, it's like, they're still going to help you because they fear you. And that's the proper thing. You get respect by being the nice guy, or you get respect out of being the strong guy. However you get respect, how you get respect. Now, the new version of the Switch is what I've... That's why I think I've only seen the mini one. But if they're making that good one, that new Pro one, it's gotta... To me, if I'm gonna get another Switch or track Switch over I have my old one's a new one, I'm gonna need more disk space. Well, not disk space, like storage or shit. Also, they have better fix their fucking thing where the controller just randomly fucking moves by itself. Because that can fucking make or break me in a lot of the games I play. And all of a sudden, I'm moving up. I'm like, no, stop. That's why I have the Pro controller too. Because it hasn't drifted on me recently. Alright, so they're gonna recast the Spider-Man because they've already done it like twice already. But now, what they will recast it with is up to, because they really can't keep Tom Holland just for the lore aspect of trying to use that Spider-Man, and then everyone's like, he can't be there because he knows Tony Stark. Obviously, with Marvel, it's owned by Disney, and they have all the Avengers under their thumb, so you can't really use somebody who's been associated with that for as long as he has, because before he even got, I think, his first Spider-Man movie, he was in Civil War, so Tom Holland as that character in general has gone way back before his other two strings of movies and appearing in Infinity War and Endgame. So they're going to need another new face just so people can say, okay, this is a Spider-Man, we got to follow it now because the other ones have died. And video things for D23. Want to know how they're gonna handle Clone Wars. So I think that was coming back. I don't remember if that's gonna be under Disney thing or Cartoon Network, because I know Cartoon Network first licensed Clone Wars and the shit like that. But now that Disney has everything, I doubt they're gonna get it back. So I want to see what they're gonna do for Clone Wars for sure, and if they're gonna do anything else for Star Wars Rebels. And then I get another Avengers Assembled type thing? If you remember the more gritty cartoon version that Disney XD had of the Avengers show. And you may not like this, but I want to know if they would get Discord's Avengers to America, or at least dubbed.
Who?
The Avengers where the little kids have the disc, and each disc has a different Avenger on it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that was meant for like maybe 10-year-olds. I ain't seen that shit. First time hearing about it. See if you can find a screenshot or a link or something. This is the first time hearing about that.
Sega.
Hello?
Doing that right now.
Oh, okay.
That right there.
What in the actual Japanese fuck?
Discord's Avengers.
This is some Pokemon shit. They get, I swear to God, they get some of the most efficient and best looking 2D animation studios, and then they go and produce this ass garbage. Even though the characters look cool. Look at Thor! Oh my god! I would let him be my god. Resolution janky, but I get what you're saying. Why the fuck did you even like that show?
I stumbled upon it once, and then I watched all of it, and I just got hooked because it's just it's interesting how they portrayed the characters. Granted, it didn't annoy me how it was just there was the main Avenger group, and then the sub-Avenger group, and then they could only use each of their people they have at a certain time, because it's just you have to watch it to understand some stuff, and there's a lot of things that they skew about the canon, about how these characters actually are and how they become. So it's just okay. And it's if they bring this to America, it's actually pretty dope to watch again.
Okay, you have long, awkward pauses, bro. You can just go to the next question when you're done.
That should be it, because I was saying about D23, because...
And do you think they'll use Tom Holland again?
Not at all.
Damn.
Not at all, because he's been too...
You didn't even hesitate. No, I was just saying, you didn't even hesitate.
I mean, considering how fast they got rid of the other two for him, I can never think of first Spider-Man.
The first Spider-Man is... Fuck. I know who it is, but now I can't think. It's a Seabiscuit, god damn it. Fuck. You know what? I got a good idea. Hey Google. How many people have played Spider-Man in movies?
At least 19. Spider-Man was played by Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and others.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire, yeah. Spider-Man.
There were 19?
He was the first greatest.
God
It
damn.
was the first face of Spider-Man. And honestly, the first thing of Spider-Man in society that I've ever seen.
According
Which
to
always confused me watching
Neil
animated.
Patrick
It's like,
Harris,
oh wait,
Miracle
Tobey Maguire doesn't need a web slinger because he has webs in his veins. But I guess that was a lie in its entirety.
Holy shit, Neil Patrick Harris was a Spider-Man. I know you don't know who that is, but still.
I do. I'm talking about Doogie Howser, but are you talking about all, like, across all medias, like cinematic and animated?
I think that's what Google did, and apparently Neil Patrick Harris was a Spider-Man at some point. Wow. Okay. Guess it's my turn. Spider-Man PS4 sold fucking 13 million. I can't even think of how much DLC money they probably made. Notice how they didn't make a complete edition. Just want to point that out. Fucking. I think the main reason they bought Insomniac is because they spend so much time and effort on this PlayStation 5. They literally don't have enough time to go and make a really, really good high-end PlayStation 5 game in-house. Keywords there, in-house. Because there are some games we already know. This is one of the things I've learned about the industry going back as far as like the GameCube. If you see a game get a trailer on one system and keep getting trailers but never come out on that system, even when the announcement for the new system has been made, it's going to be on the next system. Period. Now, in the case of Sony, though, they've almost showed no first-party in-house trailers for anything this whole year. They're basically pretending Final Fantasy VII is theirs, even though it's not. But to be fair, I mean, it was a foregone conclusion there would be a PS4 version, period. Personally, I think there will be a PS5 version. But you think I'm going to wait for the PlayStation 5 to play Final Fantasy VII Remake? You funny. But we all know Final Fantasy Remake 2 and 3, if there's a 4 is going to be on the PlayStation 5. That goes without saying. Then they'll do a collection with all of it put together. And then I'm going to be the idiot that buys it for the 4th time, even though I already bought the other ones individually. I'm sorry. I am Tifa's whore. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm screwed. But that aside, yeah, I totally think that they don't want to admit, oh shit, we ain't got nothing in the house we can get ready fast enough to match up what might be the PlayStation 5's release launch window. So instead of telling all the companies, hey, hurry up and make ports for your shit, they wanted to make sure they had something in-house. That's what I think. Because I think the only other thing they might have is a PlayStation 5 version of that Avengers game that's coming, featuring Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is a console exclusive. Because they keep saying, even from day one, hey, there's going to be a console exclusive that's only for the PlayStation. I was like, what are they going to do? Spider-Man? Then I thought about it. I said it as a joke. I was like, that's exactly what they're going to do. Spider-Man. Now, as far as Gamescon 2019 is concerned, one of the games I was most interested in seeing was Final Fantasy VII Remake. But obviously, there was more to it than that. I don't know if it was because PAX West happened at the same time as Gamescom, so I'm going to apologize in advance if I screw this up, but Streets of Rage 4. I know that sounds like, man, that's some old 2D beat-em-up stuff. Why do you even care? Because I grew up with it, it didn't stop being fun, and it went away. Further proving the idea of just because a video game is fun and make money doesn't mean that it will get sequels. Look no further than Jet Set Radio, Skies of Arcadia, anything Overworks ever made. So I treasure these things because I'm old enough to know there's no telling if you'll ever see a continuation, no matter how good something does. But I'm also surrounded by enough young bucks to think that automatically, if it does well, it'll get continued, which is total bullshit. Anyways. as far as topic 3 goes, I kind of do think this might be the last time we see the Microsoft and Sony's councils, and my whole reasoning is very simple. There's only 2 big trade shows left, and I think one of them already happened, and that is Leipzig, which is like Gamescon for a different country, or Leipzig. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I'm not from that country. I don't know how the fuck to say that shit. And Tokyo Game Show. And the thing about Tokyo Game Show, Microsoft is known inherently, they have a hard time moving product in that whole country. It's not a matter of hate. It's a matter of interest. It's the same with me and the Xbox. Yeah, I hate the Xbox from time to time, but even when that hatred wore down, it was a lack of interest. They had nothing in particular inherently I wanted. And because of that, why would I spend the extra money? You know? I ain't rich. Not till after 26 anyway. But I ain't rich right now. So, the way I see it, fucking... Sony will make a trailer for the PlayStation 5 that doesn't... This is a prediction. I'm not saying this will happen. They'll make a trailer for the PlayStation 5 officially. They'll show it off at Tokyo Game Show. But there won't be any games for it. We might see the controller. And there might be a spec sheet. So basically some PS3 bullshit all over again. And also features that they are claiming will be in the game permanently, or they're going to try to shoot for within the system. We already seen some patents get leaked. But you know how it is with patents. A patent you see is not always the final product. It's just a draft of what they're trying to go for. Right? And as far as Xbox, I don't even think they're going to be at Tokyo Game Show. But if they are, I think they might try to show off the new Xbox. Might. But realistically, I think everybody's ready to move on. The only thing Microsoft is supposed to have coming down the pipeline is finishing up orders for the old Xbox One controllers. They've discontinued the 360 controllers. And also they're making a new version of the Pro controller. And that thing's going to be stupid expensive. And they're also in their final iterations of the Xbox One systems. So they're basically getting ready for the Xbox, the next box, so to speak. Or as they call it, Xbox Scorpio, or is it Scarlet right now? No, Sony it's Scarlet, and I think Xbox is Scorpio, right? Fuck, I can't remember their code names. I just find it weird. It makes me think there's going to be some red on the system instead of green, you know? So outside of that, I believe... there's nothing left there's no place left to show anything. And even at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter of the year, which is, January to right before the summer starts, there's no giant trade shows coming. Like, realistically speaking, why would they bring out the 4 and the current Xbox One? Now, as far as topic 3, when it comes to the not licensed Spider-Man, our heart goes out to Tom Holland. We knew you well, but sometimes mommy and daddies get into fights, and it's not your fault they're fighting, but they have to agree to go their separate ways. And sometimes children get hurt, and the people around them get hurt. But that's okay, Tom Holland and Spider-Man. Just remember the good times. And maybe one day we'll all calm down and we'll be able to sit together. I need some tissue right now. Topic 4. I think the first couple games that'll come out on PlayStation 5, sadly, from Insomniac are just going to be rehashes because it's popular. It's just how it is. But to be fair, those rehashes of older cycle games sell well because they were popular. So theoretically, that's a non-issue. But at the same time, if they're allowing backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 4, my whole thing is, why even do that? Why not just make a graphical upgrade built into the game or as a DLC function? Because, I don't know, you might not be able to install it on the disc. As a DLC install onto the system that lets you play that game with a higher level of audio and a different graphic fidelity that makes the game look completely different, you know? We're about to enter the first generation that have true ray tracing systems. Ray tracing, guys. Think about that. We've known about and seen ray tracing as early as 2006, but computers even have a hard time with it. And here come the new consoles having the shit all built in. Technology is a wonderful thing. At least until it destroys us all. Okay, so obviously Spider-Man. I think they might try to do a Ratchet and Clank collection, but I prefer they do one where they upgrade the graphics at a bare minimum, and they put the original versions of Ratchet and Clank, not their reboot version that people have issues with. Because no matter how fun that game is, people have issues with that reboot so much, it's insane. And I hope that Spider-Man version they put in, besides looking 10 times better, hey, they already got that Spider-Man game running on it. I want them to put another layer of graphical polish. Because first off, holy shit, does that game already look polished? And that's all I think they got time for. Unless they do something that, you know, is one of those games where you can beat it in one day and probably shouldn't cost you $70. You give us a collection, you go and put everything in that Spider-Man all together, we Gucci. So yeah, just bundle everything you've made so far, Insomniac, and, you know, upgrade that PlayStation 4 Spider-Man to a 5. Don't worry, if you make it, they will buy, as they say. Now, as far as the Switch rumors, I feel a bit like an idiot, but I'm going to just come out and say it. Yo, real talk. They're going to make another version of the Switch. But I'm not sure. No, I can't pull it up right now. But they're going to make another version of the Switch because, first and foremost, there's never been a time since 2000 where the video game industry didn't make a refresh of their system, with the exception of the Nintendo GameCube. Once we got into that 360 era, when the 360 came out, it had iterations. PS3 had multiple iterations. Now, the PS2 had multiple iterations. The Wii had multiple iterations, although, you know, they were kind of an insult, but that's another matter. Let's not talk about the Wii U. It's suffered enough. It's been everybody's punching bag for quite some time. And everything else under the sun, especially the handhelds. Holy shit. But I think the way Nintendo might be going about it is a little bit sporadic. I think that they might want to make sure their sales don't have a giant slump when the new systems come out. When people go in stores and say, well, which one's the strongest? Or where's the new version of all the systems for my baby at? Because, you know, say what you will about video games, but at the end of the day, Walmart makes up more than 50% or just about 50% of the industry physical sales for a reason. So if I go in a store, I'm a parent, I don't know shit, and my child already got a Switch, and they say they want a new upgraded system, I may screw around and get them a PS5 or the next box instead of that new that new Nintendo Switch Pro. Also, their upgraded version that they have out now, they should have stopped making the old version, recalled them something, I don't really care, but they needed to make it more obvious that that's what it is. I went to Target today because on a rare occurrence, I actually needed AAA rechargeable batteries. Those things time forgot about, right? And I just went over to the Nintendo section to see if I can complete my, you know, Smash Bros. Amiibo collection, because that's the only reason I get them. I want to get every single Smash Amiibo, even that bullshit Piranha Plant, and I'll probably chop the head off. And after that happens, I just want to go and look. So besides the box being red and the artwork being different, there is literally only one other denotation, and it's when you look at the actual price tag and you see the name of the Switch, it has 2 letters after the word Nintendo Switch. I think it was SR or DR or something like that. How the hell is a parent going to know? I know that they have tech experts in every single tech department of every single major label big box store, but here's the thing about that. Real talk. Real fucking talk. You know damn well somebody is going to ask where the Nintendo Switch are, point to them, and they're not even going to look or check, and then they're going to go buy that. And then when they try to return it to the store, they're not going to let them switch them out. No pun intended. I think there will be a bigger version coming, but I think Nintendo has already finished it. They're just waiting until Microsoft and Sony show their official release dates before they do theirs. I think basically, for lack of a better term, the video game industry console makers are trying to get in sync with each other without telling each other we need to get in sync. Because Google Stadia is not a threat, but it can turn into one very quickly. So they want to make sure that they look as little as simplified and deconfused as possible. And that's probably one of the only times we'll see them get along, when you say the name Google Stadia in their presence. Now, that being said, I think Sony will try to not recast Tom Holland, but I think Tom Holland will decline because he knows the quality of the Spider-Man movies inherently are dramatically terrible, because Sony Pictures' natural ability to direct has been questionable for almost 15 years. And even though their most profitable movie was the one Marvel basically handed in their lap, they would try to get Tom Holland because people would automatically start associating quality with him, or just may forget that the Sony and Marvel deal went sour. You know? That's how I'm looking at it. But Tom Holland may be scared to do that, or he might just say, man, I need my Spider-Man high. Holland needs another kick. You know? Something like that. So that's how I feel about that. I feel like it's a 50-50, but half of it is based off of what Tom Holland wants to do. Also, go look up The Day He Met Madonna. It was hilarious. Now, as far as D23, She-Hulk. Holy shit. They said, or at least Kevin Feige said, She-Hulk is going to be one of their most unique presentations from Marvel Studios because we're doing things we've never tried to do before. Personally, I want it to be funny. Yeah, it can have the action moments, but you got to remember, she's a lawyer. They could possibly try to go the dramatic route until there's a fight. But you know what? They did it with Daredevil. They did it with Luke Cage. They did it with Jessica Jones. They tried to do it with Iron Fist. And they did it with the Defenders. And look. That formula works. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't. There's a reason that Dick Wolf, yes, that's his name, the creator of Law and Order, and I believe NCIS and all those other cop shows that are literally all the same, has a franchise worth billions of dollars before Marvel said anything. Because people like and buy familiarity, and it's a little bit annoying. Also, they have enough money and success to not play it safe. You know? I want She-Hulk to be funny. I want her, what is her name? Not Betty. Betty is Bruce's wife. What is She-Hulk's actual name? Was it Jennifer Banner? Hey, Hill, what is She-Hulk's actual name?
I do not remember.
Okay, well, please Google it. That aside, I want to see WandaVision, which is a show about what Wanda and the Vision were doing after Civil War happened. But also, I like the idea that they're bringing in and remembering that they have a giant supporting cast of characters who, even though they're not super, they can carry a story, or they can build up and be a B story, because that's the thing about the movies. You basically can only tell the A story. And even though they say there's a B plot, they're never really a B plot. What happens is they go and show you what other people are doing that have something to do with the main story. A real B plot can happen completely autonomously from the actual story. That can only happen with radio, books, and television. So I want more Kat Dennings. She's usually in Thor movies with Chris Hemsworth, but Kat Dennings. I like Kat Dennings. And no, before some perverted jackass comes in, her torso size has nothing to do with my like of Kat Dennings. I like Kat Dennings because she does a lot of funny things, and she's a very humble person. She had no business dating Tom Hiddleston because I don't know if she knew how that was going to end and wanted to ride it out. No pun intended, not trying to be, dirty-minded. I honestly do respect Kat Dennings as a performer. But other than that, like, she's just humble, down to earth, and she's friends with Craig Ferguson, and I fucking love Craig Ferguson. Her being beautiful and having very, very voluptuous brunette hair, the type that your mama would be jealous of, is just a bonus. And her voice is cute. That aside, basically, that was it for me. Now, I am curious how this new Lizzie McGuire show is going to work. Is it Lizzie McGuire as a first-time parent? Is it Lizzie McGuire trying to deal with college? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I grew up with Lizzie McGuire, and it was one of the few shows that I can honestly say it appealed to me as a child, but it wasn't trying to talk down to me. That's what made stuff like The Wonder Years, what's another one? Malcolm in the Middle, and of course Lizzie McGuire and even Stevens work so well. There were issues. They usually get wrapped up in less than 30 minutes, even though they're a lot more serious than that. But they didn't make you feel like they had to dumb down scripts and shit because children are watching, And I like that, and I appreciate that. Also, I kind of want to see Kat Dennings be on that show. I don't know, maybe be a rival to Hilary Duff or something. Or a long-lost secret sister she didn't know about. So, yeah, anyways. She-Hulk, because She-Hulk is the bomb. The ability for her to be... Jennifer Walters, that's her name. Jennifer Walters is She-Hulk's name. The ability for her character to go anywhere from serious to comical is pretty good. And also, since she's a Hulk, she's automatically one of the strongest people on the planet. But, she almost turned into a different person. The way she's usually presented in media, she turned into a different person, or is rather more confident when she is She-Hulk. Whereas when she's Jennifer Walters, she's kind of sort of plain and ho-hum, but not like Bruce Banner. I don't know if anyone's seen the Fantastic Four version of whatchamacallit. The Fantastic Four version of The Fantastic Four Toonami version of She-Hulk, because she was in one episode and criminally so. She should have been in more. And Johnny Storm was flirting with her, but she was shy. But when she transformed into She-Hulk, she was teasing him and being a prick. It was fucking hilarious. I know that's kind of sort of out of character for her, but I want to see it. Also, for those of you Deadpool fans out there, before there was Deadpool, She-Hulk knew she was in a comic book. Literally knows she's in a comic book and that she can't bring it up when she is in other people's comics. Also, she has a form called Grey Hope that not only knows she's in a comic book, she openly insults the people who make the comic that she's in. But that character hasn't been seen in almost 30 years. Grey She-Hulk, if they create her, would be insane. Also, I really want to know who's playing Jennifer Walters and who's going to play the She-Hulk version, because they don't really have to do a CG version like they did with fuck is his name? Guy who plays Hulk. Damn it. Too many people done played the Hulk. Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. They could have just a short person play Jennifer and have a tall, athletic woman play She-Hulk. No, that type of thing. I would fucking love that. Oh, and please, Jessica Jones cameo. It's the least they could do. Or maybe Luke Cage shows up and she gets flirty with him and Jessica doesn't like that. That would be hilarious. Anyways, hey, D23, first time I ever watched one. I think I might actually try to look at the D23 highlights in the future. I'm of the opinion that no company is an absolute. Nobody is truly perfect. Nobody is truly a devil. Disney's different. They're somehow absolutely terrible and absolutely perfect at the same time, according to the internet caucuses of reviewers and critiquers and shit like that. But as far as D23 by itself goes, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Almost everything Marvel Studios is making, I want to see. Okay, with that being said, you got any closing statements, Hill?
We wait to see what future Sony will going to do with the Amazing Spider-Man or the fall.
And with that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I will see you guys when I see you guys.